Hello? Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
We're going back to back. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
Well, I'm your host, Freddie Rivas, and who are you, sir?
I'm the producer, Matt Duncan. I hope you're all well.
I'm doing okay. Have you ever seen me stutter that much off the top?
Whoa, right off the top. Yeah, no, that's always a good start for us. You know,
first words
in our show title.
I think I'm so excited though. That's what's going on. We have a very, very big and fun announcement.
We do.
That I'm not gonna spoil. I'm just gonna throw to you, Matt. We've been teasing this a little bit, and it's here. It's very, very fun news. So, Matt, please take it away.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.
Well, there you go, guys. We have joined the Sonar Network, which is a podcast network in Toronto with a bunch of great podcasts on it that are comedy and, sexual wellness and, apocalyptic ones. You got Happy Good with Chris Locke, Landlord and Tenant Podmess, The Bedpost, lots of cool stuff. I think we are the only sports one on there right now. I think
we've cornered the market.
We've cornered the market. I think we're the first. We're on the Sonar Network. It's you can check out all these podcasts now at thesonarnetwork.com. We'll have links on our website that you can click as well. And it's pretty exciting. Maybe we'll be building a little bit more now. Just another direction up for us, is it not, Freddie?
That's right. Not everyone gets to be FVV or like Kyle Lowry or Pascal. You think about being mad. We're the Paul Watsons of the world. Okay.
Yes.
We're grinding here. We're making it work, but we're a valuable part of the team. And this was big for us. This is like, hey, Paul Watson, you get minutes tonight.
Yeah.
That's us joining the Sonar Network. This is it's cool. It's going to be a fun partnership. I'm super excited for it. Matt, is there any other kind of bits of business details folks need to know in general about the pod?
Go to dunkspodcast.com. We've got all our links there for all our different podcatchers and stuff. We've also, for Patreon, if you want to check us out there and support that way, you always get our episodes before everybody else. And then you get more perks, but you still got some of that hot sauce. You pay enough money, you get some of that hot sauce. And you must be
hasn't gone bad.
You must be due for another harvest soon, which is going to be good too.
More, okay.
Subscribe and rate for us. That would we really appreciate it. And I think that's about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm pumped to get into this.
I will just say before we just get into it, just say from the Sonar Network, Michael and Mariana, thank you very much for going back and forth and getting us ready for all this. We're really excited. And we're happy to be on the Sonar Network.
I'll echo that. Thank you so much. It's been a fun transition. I have so much ADD that honestly, Matt did the lion's share of what we're talking about right now. But kudos to you, Matt, for that. Thank you very much. You're a rock star producer. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Our Raptors, right? It's so good. I'm so excited to talk about it. And I think before we launch in, I'm just going to throw out a reminder to everyone, write your city councilors. The defund the police movement's not over. It's absolutely not over, and we have to keep fighting.
It's a movement, not a moment.
That's right. I think though we're gonna start talking some Raptors ball, some Raptors playoff ball. Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, please say the words okay.
Okay.
first, he's a hilarious comedian, a wicked improviser. He does a show all the time. And I don't know if he's still obsessed with, and I forget if he hates or loves, but there's a thing there with Lonzo Ball. Give it up as loud as you can for Anthony Hall.
Oh, yeah. I'm off the Lonzo Ball train. I'm on the TJ Warren Express, baby.
Oh, cheers, sir. I like the announcements. That's good. It's like, I really feel like I was at a train station there. You know what I mean? Like you took
Now leaving Lonzo Ball Station, entering TJ Warren Express.
I love for you, the most exciting thing is you're commuting, you know?
Yeah. I'm always going somewhere, and that somewhere is the championship lane.
Yes, it is. Thanks for doing the pod, man. This is exciting.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's bring on guest number 2, who no doubt is also excited. One of the funniest people I know. Incredible improviser, magnificent producer, has a funny over the head shot, kind of looks like Boucher's. It's pretty efficient, kind of like Boucher's, sort of. Give it up as loud as you can for Mr. Matt McCready.
Oh, yeah, everybody. I am off of the TLC Lisa Left Eye Lopez train, and I am on the Timothy Luau Cabarro Express.
Oh, get off that one.
Wow. Similarly initialed trains. That's got to be confusing.
Honestly, the train station's a fucking mess. I was lucky to get here on time, Freddie. I'm happy to talk basketball.
I'm happy. You're happy. You sound excited. Are you on a basketball high right now or what?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was typical Raptors, super, super high, and then like a little bit of a dip. And then, felt right back into it. Feel great. Feel happy.
Yeah. Let's jump right into the very first question. Maddie, I don't know if you got it there.
I got a new sting.
Oh, you got a new sting.
Oh, you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
I'm preparing myself.
Oh, my God. This is cool. Take it away, baby. Something's happening. Wow.
Whoa.
Very intricate.
I added some dramatic music to Masai's little speech last time we played Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's good. Brooklyn, I'm sorry for the disrespect, but Matt's gotta clown you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Masai's got to clown you, got to bring that back. It's funny to hear when he's like, I've got one more thing to say. And then he takes quite a pause. He's like, am I going to say it? Am I going to say it? Like you can kind of feel it. And then he does. And crowd goes nuts.
Yeah. It's always good when someone's they take a big pause before saying something really, really serious. Yeah. I mean, totally not a basketball thing, but I will never forget the moment where Rob Ford was like, no, ask me again. And the reporter was like, what? And he's like, ask me what you asked me 6 months ago. And the reporter's like, do you smoke crack? and Rob Ford was like, yeah. It was in a stupor. But the way that just the build up to the moment, it was so weird. It's like someone preparing to be like, this could be bad, but I'm going for it. It's going to be.
This could put a crack in the earth. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I thought it was intended.
It's funny.
No worries. You don't have to take credit. Okay. Let's go McCready first. And I think this is the most Raptor-y thing on my mind right now. And please be honest with me. How worried were you in the third quarter?
A little worried, but not super worried. My brother said it best when I was watching the game with my brother, when he said they are using so much energy in that third quarter. Yeah. To claw back into the game, using all their starters. They're missing so many players that when their starters aren't out there, they really don't have too much to go to. yeah, so I mean, I wasn't super worried about it.
Yeah, I feel like I was roughly the same. I mean, I didn't like to see that much bleeding, but I was, I felt pretty encouraged that it never got past 8, which is still a fairly, even in today's 3-point barrage era, it's still a fairly large lead, or like you're still in control of the game. Anthony, how worried did you get in the third?
I got a little bit stressed, I think, when the commentators were like, LeVert has 13 assists. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And
same moment for me. Yeah. For me, I was like, the third, he's carving us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the thing with like Brooklyn is like, they're like a team of like hybrid guard forwards. So they're like so long and fast and weird. And they can just shoot from anywhere. And once they get hot, like Timothé Luwahu-Cabarrot, it was just like, please stop shooting those.
Yeah, he was one of the hottest shooters in the game. He was 6 for 9 from 3.
He's the only player on the Nets with a plus minus.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
yep, +2.
Geez, who does he think he is? Fred VanVleet?
I know. What's he trying to do? Be a super efficient, amazing breakout star, Freddie VanVleet.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet made himself $6 million off of this game alone on his next contract. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it was a massive game. We'll get to Fred in a sec, but I wanted to ask you, Mr. Matt Duncan, the produce. Were you sweating it out in the third, or?
Ooh, geez. Well, like anytime there's a little bit of worry, like just coming off of watching, the Leafs disappoint me yet again in the playoffs. Okay. You start to get that feeling that I know very well over with that team. And, you know how deep and horrible that feeling can get. And I just got worried for a split second that the Raps were going to make me feel that way. But really, this team is just like, they're just so capable. And like, since I've been watching the Raps with you in the last 6 years, I've never felt really this comfortable watching a Leafs or a Raptors playoff series.
Yeah, like capable, comfortable. Yeah. Those are such good kind of like descriptors, because for me, it was the same. It was the same Karis LeVert moment where I was kind of like 13 assists. This is nuts. Has he figured something out? But also to your brother's point, McCready, they were just kind of like pushing on the gas. And I was excited for our reserves to come in and kind of like bring that extra oomph. And, OG's spin around kind of like and one dunk, Terrence Davis's kind of like hard drive to the lane, and Fred's consistent scoring, Serge's consistent scoring. They looked relaxed. So I think even though it got to within 8, it wasn't that scary.
I was worried by how relaxed they looked in the third quarter.
Yeah,
that was
fair. Yeah,
a relaxed posture by the Raptors coming out of that halftime. Very confident in the team. It turned out to be warranted confidence. Freddie, as the leader of the Marc Gasol train or express, what are your thoughts on Gasol's game? Because he did some good stuff out there, but he also had 4 turnovers and 1 assist. Threw some sloppy passes.
Yes.
Hair looks great. I'm not going to take that away from him.
You can't.
But thoughts otherwise?
Okay, we are alike in testing each other, because I was right about to go to you, like, as the resident, you've had your issues with Gasol. How do you feel about this game? Because if we're going overreaction territory, my first couple thoughts was, we're so adaptable. We're not going to have a problem with this Brooklyn team, but part of that adaptation might be acknowledging that Gasol has a ton of value, but not against 5 guards.
No, it's a tough matchup for him.
It's really, I don't know. And then also watching Serge dominate, what I'll just jump to the next question. McCready, do you think Serge should start in game 2?
I think having that punch off the bench in terms of scoring is pretty valuable for the team. I would keep Gasol out there as a ball mover. I think it's really important. I mean, I harped on Gasol basically because of me and yours long-standing rivalry over our thoughts on Gasol. Yeah. But really the most disappointing Raptor was probably Pascal Siakam. Yeah. And so I think you want Gasol out there just to keep the ball in Pascal's hands, because as the game started, I was like, wow, Brooklyn has no one to guard Siakam at all. But then, he really struggled. He went 4 for 13 from the field. So you want someone out there who can maybe get him going at the next game.
Yeah, he absolutely could not finish at the rim. Like, we're so accustomed to seeing Siakam attack aggressively in the paint and do like a spinorama and lay it in and get like contested jumpers. But today it just was not happening for him. And luckily Brooklyn fouled him a few times and he got to go to the line and he was great there. But oof, I was worried.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like, Pascal, from the Boston game and from times where he's struggled a little bit this year, I feel like if you really aggressively double him, or are a defense that can kind of, or like us can scramble, he gets caught in the in-between sometimes. Like I think he wants to play the mismatch and attract the double and find that pass early. But I think he right now is kind of a bit unsure. And the way the Nets were playing him, either you kind of like go hard and aggressive and take some fadeaways and just make sure you take a lot of shots, like 4 for 11. That tells me he's still in some type of like major deferral mode. When we were all talking about Pascal and like, what's he going to do in the playoffs? Like it's like kind of throughout the season, for me anyways, like I'm thinking 22, 24, 26 shots a game. I don't think he's ever going to be a Kawhi type guy where it's like, oh my God, Kawhi put up like 30 or 35 shots. Like this guy's just like launching it up there. That's not Pascal's game, but 11 shots to me, he had some foul trouble, but again, I'm not super worried, but you would like to see him go off. I'm torn because Freddie's going off. So at what point, like, if he's struggling a bit, should he assert himself when other players, we haven't even got to Freddie yet, but wait, let me ask you the Serge question first. Anthony, do you think, is that too panicky
for Serge to start in game 2? I think I agree with Matt on this one, that we should keep him on the bench for now and then bring him in when Gasol gets tired or is coughing up the ball or not playing well, because just even the scoring that Ibaka brought off the bench was something that really elevated the Raptors offense. So keeping him in pocket. And then the thing about Gasol is you can't trade the defensive instincts and knowledge that he has. Like, he played Karis LeVert on some matchups pretty well. Like, whenever Karis LeVert would penetrate, they would have 2 guys on him right away, and Gasol would be one of the guys to shift over. And also he played Jarrett Allen pretty well too in the first half. So I don't want that to be on the bench to start the game. I'd rather have Ibaka sit, and then when things start to get rumbling and Brooklyn starts to get rolling a little bit, then having Ibaka out would be the most effective thing, I think.
Yeah, and I think maybe that early kind of jittery part of the game, you like Gasol against Allen, but I don't know. I feel like from a panicky standpoint, you don't want to show weakness, but from an effectiveness standpoint, if we run that pet play for Serge, I feel like that we could this could be the story every single game, and we could. But I guess we did blow them out and they came back. So part of today's NBA is kind of recognizing that there's a lot of teams in the league that can have a super hot quarter. Yeah. But okay, we got to go to Fred. Anthony, I'm going to stick with you. Let me just read this line. This is bonkers. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's the first time in Raptors history that there's been a 30 and 11. But so 38 minutes, 30 points, 2 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 8 for 10 from 3 on a plus 14.
but was the only Raptor to not hit a free throw in the game, costing us an NBA record.
Oh my God. Wait, well, Norm did.
No, everyone else went perfect from the line except for Fred, who went 0 for 1.
Oh, yeah, right. You know what?
And could have been a record-setting day for the old Rap squad.
Oh, man.
No, you're right. Shame on
Terribly
Fred.
Disappointing game for Fred VanVleet.
It's okay for us to be like super disappointed in him right now.
Sorry for distracting. He did great. He did great.
That was an important fact that I needed to know. Now I'm like, we could have had that free throw record in game 1. Shit.
So yeah, Anthony, is that him? I mean, that's a massive game. Let's not expect like a ton of. I mean, I guess he's just Steph Curry now. Yeah. So is that Freddie in this series? He has a lot of space.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't seem to be, they're not focusing on him either, right? They're focusing on Pascal.
Yeah. I don't know. Fred has had like a lot of really amazing games in the bubble, as we've seen, and he's been shooting like crazy. And I think the thing about being in the bubble is like shooters who get hot are going to stay hot. And it's been proven that that's definitely the case. And I'm just worried that now Brooklyn's going to like send out their like longer backcourt guys to guard him. And you kind of saw that in the third. And that's like when like the run started happening for Brooklyn, is like Freddie wasn't getting as much space. And it's just those guys are so long and scrappy that like the closeouts were getting really tight, especially like Tyler Johnson is a guy who like goes up against Fred. And I'm like, it's going to be hard for him to get off like a clean shot. But when he's open, like he's just been lights out, and it's like the best I've ever seen him play. And it's like so exciting. I was just yelling. I was just like, yeah. Oh, that's a nasty 3, baby.
Yeah. 8 for 10. For me, it gets, as soon as someone hits 6 or more threes, no matter who it is, starts getting really silly.
Yeah.
So like for me, 6, 7, and 8, all of those threes, I'm like just laughing.
I was just like, heat check. Oh,
like 8. Sorry. You know what? Let me just pause for a second. And can we get a replay of that sound?
Heat check. Oh.
I think that's a mix of you're watching the game and also,
Muppets tonight.
The bath isn't hot enough.
Yeah.
You want a heat check on the bath.
I need a meat thermometer stat.
I'm loving your energy. This is good. Listen, we're champions. We're going back to back, and our first game curse, whatever that was. We can laugh that off now.
Yeah.
But McCready, what's your thoughts on Freddie? Is he going to be the star of the series, or is this just this is a game 1 story?
Well, you can't take too much from one game. Fred's been playing really well in the bubble. He's had a great season. I don't think it's a great matchup for Brooklyn, Fred, namely. Tyler Johnson did get a lot of the responsibilities for guarding Fred, but Tyler Johnson was also negative 29 for the game. So he didn't do super hot in that role. We kind of like, the Raptors won by 24 points. So they didn't need Fred to have a huge game. But I mean, Siakam and Lowry shot 3 for 14. Like Lowry was effective in ways outside of shooting. Siakam shot 4 for 13. They were both shooting quite poorly. So they needed someone to come in on the starting lineup and punch. And if Fred didn't punch in that third quarter, they could have come all the way back. They could have taken the lead.
Yeah.
It was important that he was able to do that. But I imagine that obviously Fred's going to regress from shooting that hot. He's not going to shoot 80% from 3 for the series. Who does he think he is? Fred VanVleet from last year's playoffs?
I guess, right? Like, what if he's like, no, I shoot 70% from 3 in the playoffs now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if a baby fell out of his wife or what, but like he shot out of this world. I think we're going to probably see a little bit worse shooting from Fred and probably better shooting from Lowry and Siakam. I imagine watching this game now, I originally picked Raptors in 5, but I would feel very confident in a Raptors in 4 pick at this point.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about that pick. I called franchise first sweep. I don't think, back to the first point you kind of brought up what your brother said. And you could feel it, right? LeVert was at one point, he was like rubbing his leg and he had a massive game, 15 assists. That's incredible. Like that's a superstar performance, but
you got to give him credit. Sorry, Freddie, I don't mean to interrupt, but you just really have to give him credit for reading what the Raptors were giving him, because they were hitting him with so many doubles.
Yeah.
And when they did that, that's the same defense that they gave Giannis last year and Kawhi earlier in the season. And to varying degrees, they didn't produce the way that LeVert did, which is really impressive for a guy who's as young and experienced as him.
Yeah. There's only a few stars out there who've looked comfortable in like the Raptors, like basically superstar torture chamber, because that's what we are. You bring your superstar to us and we put them through absolutely grueling hell. Yeah. And that's a big part of how we beat you. I mean,
the Nick Nurse Iron Maiden.
Yeah, the Toronto Iron Maidens. Yeah. That's not a bad name for a team.
And Doncic is really the only guy who I can remember looking comfortable in like with a kind of full teeth Raptors defense. But McCready, I was going to ask you, just looking forward, who do you want to see a bit more from in terms of the, let's say, non-surge norm role players? So we got like, here's who played basically like minutes of significance. Rondé, Matt, and Terrence. Sorry to Chris Boucher, but he only played 3 minutes and it was like the end of the game. But Matt Thomas saw some minutes and Rondé played 11 and Terrence played 12. So maybe it's a Rondé Terrence battle early on. What's your thoughts?
I'd like to see less Rondé, to be honest. I think me too. One of the reasons the Raptors offense, there's a lot of talk amongst experts. The Raptors don't have enough juice to create off the dribble and create shots. Right. But I think one of the reasons why the Raptors have been so effective offensively this year is because they always have 5 shooters on the floor, except for when Rondé Hollis Jefferson is on the floor, and to a certain extent, Chris Boucher, if he's not playing 2 specific games in the bubble. I think Thomas didn't have any points, but he had 3 assists. He was plus 11 in 7 minutes. And I think he looked good. I mean, him running around and just distracting the opposing defense was something good for him. I think a little bit more minutes for Thomas, more minutes for Davis in general, and maybe shift some of those Hollis Jefferson minutes to Boucher and let Lowry and Van Vliet maybe play 5 less minutes a game, maybe get them more around the 34 mark so they're able to go wild and stay healthy throughout this run.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm going to throw that to you, Anthony. So, I'm looking at Fred and Kyle, 38 minutes a piece. OG 34. OG was fantastic. I'm not worried about OG. He's 22 years old. Fred's very young as well, but I think the load Fred has to carry and Kyle has to carry is so massive. And are we in some ways as an offense putting our, too many eggs in one basket, like, or just as far as the way we're using these two, should we be feeding Pascal more and maybe integrating Terrence Davis more, or, Norm, I think Norm only played like, 16 minutes too. So, Fred and Kyle, 38 minutes each. That's a lot. That seems a bit much, right? And what was a blowout at a certain point?
Well, I understand keeping Fred in because you want to give the guy who has the hot hand all the opportunities he can to shoot the ball. But the way that Kyle has been playing with like taking the hard fouls as he always does and drawing charges, he drew 3 charges in the first half. Like that was insane. Like that takes a toll on your body, especially if you're in the bubble and you don't have, the same facilities and proper recovery as you would have in like Toronto and you're
Kyle and you're golfing nonstop in the bubble.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Like Kyle is just like getting in like whatever 72 holes a day.
Yeah. And your diet is like cherry bubblies and Mickey Mouse pancakes. Like, come on.
He's a
To be fair to
maniac.
Kyle, he looks great. His body
Yeah.
looks good.
He looks fantastic.
The worst part of his look is his hair, and that's just because everybody is trying to get a cut in the bubble barber shop, and they're not getting in.
Ooh. But yeah, I don't know where it was exactly. Oh yeah, no. So just kind of transitioning going forward as well. Because I want to rock only like 5 more minutes here, but yeah, McCready, I'll go to you. If you're Jock Vaughn, beyond whatever, like inspirational joke he probably really wants to tell, which is always welcome from you. But if there's like, what do you do to wear down this team? How do you kind of change this series? Is the third quarter kind of like, is that where you look, or is that was kind of part of a blowout?
Well, I mean, their chance to really make a dent would have been acquiring triple-double machine Jonas Valanciunas earlier in the season, but that ship has sailed, and thus they are unable to do so. But yeah, I think
He was so good in that game. Sorry.
he was. But for real though, like, yeah, I think you have to look at the third quarter as your inspiration. They have to play that hard. Like, they won't be able to beat the team. They won't be able to beat the Raptors unless they play harder than the Raptors. The Raptors, unfortunately, also play incredibly hard. So it's a tough challenge for them. Yeah, I mean, swing the shooting splits, right? If the Raptors are shooting 31% from three and Brooklyn is shooting 50% from three, which is the way that it was opposite in this game, then maybe Brooklyn takes the win, right? So without incredible shooting luck, I don't see how Brooklyn kind of makes it the series. At the same time, they could take a game if Joe Harris and these other guys go completely nuts, because outside of Cabarrot, fuck, no one hit a shot for that team. Like, Joe Harris went 3 for 5. Garrett Temple went 1 for 10.
Oh yeah.
Tyler Johnson went 1 for 6 from 3. Like, there was just a lot of bricks out there, with the exception of TLC.
Yeah. Anthony, is there any kind of offense they can generate, or defense, they can generate that might change the narrative? I mean, I think McCready pointed out, rightfully so, we shot 50% from three. So
yeah.
I think you can go ahead and not expect that of any team several games in a row. But again, yeah, Freddie doesn't miss in the playoffs, I guess.
Steady Freddie. Yeah, it was.
To counter my own point, the Raptors had wide open threes that whole game.
Yeah,
we
they
did.
were
We
getting
looked
good
comfortable.
shots.
It was a relaxed win.
But so did Brooklyn in the first quarter, and a little bit too. Like, we gave Garrett Temple like a couple of wide open looks, and luckily he just absolutely bricked them.
Oh yeah, he punished us with one for 10 from three, man.
Yeah. He just bricked them. But I mean, yeah, like you said, Matt, like, if they swing that 3-point percentage, like, who knows, we might drop a game to them, especially if discount Kevin Love, beef jerky Joe Harris drives in and gets those layups.
Wow, I feel like you read like one of those what were those gums that had a comic in it?
Bazooka Joe?
Yeah, I feel like that's an insult on Bazooka Joe. Whatever you.
That's the second time in 3 days that someone's come up to me and been like, "What's the comic strip that was in gum?" And I don't think I've ever been asked that before in my entire life up until this week.
Well, get used to it, because it's trending on Twitter right now.
Get used to it. Bazooka Joe is back, and no one can remember him.
Yeah, it's quite the phenomenon that's dependent on you.
Oh my goodness!
Good, you'll like it, dealing with that every day, answering that question.
I can't wait.
Okay, this is like a nice dystopian feel. What about did anyone see what happened at the end of the game? What was it, just like Anderson? What exactly? So he followed Davis and kind of yelled at him a bit.
I think he like said something to him, and then Jamal Crawford was also chatting away at the side there, hanging out in his little white golf shirt.
He's like, I might come out there and go 3 for 17 from 300.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just saying something to him. Maybe he was like saying some stuff, making fun of how Terrence Davis is like anti-mask or something, and then people are just like, "Hey, you can't do that. We make fun of Terrence for being an idiot."
Yeah, that's yeah, exactly. Although, I might be okay with that a little bit.
Yeah.
If he was just like, I'm still mad at you for this. Okay. I'm just pulling up the box score to the, I kind of want to end on the Denver, Jazz game since it's already happened. But before I do that, let's just, I'll give all three of you, let's do a little, last Raptors word. Let's go McCready, Anthony, and then we'll finish with, Matt Duncan. Yeah, just what's your overall vibe watching this game?
I think I've said all I need to really say about it. So I'll end up by saying that Jamal Crawford is the Dick Bavetta of NBA players.
Okay, this is good. This is nice. That's super weird. I love it.
It's just trash talking. That's all I have left to say.
That's good.
You're old Jamal Crawford.
Oh, I like it. This is good. Bazooka Joe style.
Wow, Bazooka Joe.
Anthony. Yeah, what's your wow. Playoff basketball's back, and we smashed the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to shout out friend of the pod, Roger Bainbridge. Happy birthday, Roger!
Happy birthday, Roger!
We had quite possibly the most Toronto anthem, and that was like really kind of fun to watch. Jesse Reyes doing the CN Tower edge walk and singing the anthem. That was pretty magical, and those player intros, of course, very heartwarming. Yeah, I want to see more shooting and that defense. That Toronto Iron Maiden defense, clamp them down in game 2 and beyond. So today was a little scary, but pretty awesome.
Yeah. Matt Duncan, what was your feels watching the game?
I think it's nice that we get to kind of enjoy this less stressful series. So I hope it continues that way for us, because I think it's the only series that's going to feel like that.
Yes, 100%.
And also, Norm, please don't hurt yourself. He did a bit of a DeMar groin grab, which scared me. I hope he's okay. Did we talk about that at all?
No. Okay, so there's a replay, and he for sure got a heel. In the penis.
Oh, he got kicked in the nuts.
He got kicked in the nuts. That's what happened.
It was not a groin pull. Although the way he went down, I was like, that looks bad.
Yeah.
But they showed the replay a bunch of times, and I was like, that looks bad. But not,
and then he hit like a trailer 3, like the next play he was in. So
that's good. But
sorry. Did you have something else there, Matt?
No, just Norm. I guess wear a cup. I don't know.
He's changed his advice. Norm, wear a cup.
Wear a cup.
Okay. I'm glad your groin's not injured, but be careful. I wasn't able to watch the Jazz Nuggets game, but I wanted to pull up the box score. Anthony, you said you watched it. McCready, did you watch it as well?
I watched the second half.
Nice. Okay. Well, Anthony, why don't you tell me about the first half?
Oh man. So
what was the first half story?
Michael Porter Jr. came out like shooting like crazy. Like I was like, oh my goodness, is this guy like the missing piece for Denver? And he came out so hot, but then he like went into a nuclear winter in the second half, and like it was hard to watch him. It was hard to watch him shoot, but luckily Denver is pretty much a two-man squad where it's just like Jamal Murray and Jokic like just setting up like screen and rolls infinitely to each other. And like Matt McCready was saying earlier, Jamal Murray just has like the most awful shot selection, but when he makes shots, he is a world beater, and that is what happened today in that matchup.
I love that so much. I'm so glad I asked you to do that. Nuclear, infinite.
Yeah.
Like there's some big time descriptors. McCready, I guess the stage is set. What was the second half like?
Yeah, I mean, I compared, Crawford to Dick Bavetta earlier. So I guess I'll compare Murray to Tim Donaghy because he robbed Donovan Mitchell from a career game. Holy shit. 57 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and a loss. That's got to be – he's just got to look around the locker room in disgust at all of his old friends and newfound enemies. And just really outrageous performance down because I think Mitchell only had something like 2 points in the first quarter. Am I wrong about that, Antony? I missed the first half of the game.
You're right. He was pretty quiet in the first half, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, in the second half, he was pretty much Wilt Chamberlain, who some would argue incorrectly the best player of all time because he was just going he was honestly unstoppable. It was really outrageous. His finishing around the basket was on point. These stretch finishes over Jokic. I mean, obviously the Nuggets are not a great defense, and something seemed off with Millsap, which might be something to look for in that series. I don't know. He wasn't playing at all down the stretch. They were playing like
29 minutes. So
yeah, they played Dozier over him down the stretch. I don't know if he's injured or what, but he looked off. And if he's off, their defense is crap to the point where they can't get too far in the playoffs. I think they'll still take the Jazz, but I don't think they'll get past the next round. But yeah, Jokic was amazing. Murray was amazing. And everyone else outside of Mitchell was pretty bad.
Yeah. So I think the thing that's popping out to me is, Royce O'Neal played 31 minutes and had a plus minus of negative 21. So what was he just, was it a turnstile when he was on the court? Cause there's not a really, I guess Joe Ingles was negative 14 and played 43 minutes. Jordan Clarkson had a really bad plus minus as well, but it seems was there some kind of bully ball mismatch hunting with Royce O'Neal, or was he just have an off game?
I mean, I didn't really notice Royce O'Neal a lot, to be honest, when I was watching him. So, I mean, O'Neal's a tertiary player at best. So I think he might have just kind of been out there wrong place, wrong time type of thing to have a number like that.
Yeah, his finishing at the basket was pretty bad, and he got pushed around a little bit on the other side as well. But definitely, it's Royce O'Neal. Who really cares?
I like it. So, pretty big first playoff game for Michael Porter Jr. I'm looking here, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 3 for 7 from 3. I haven't seen Michael Porter Jr. play a lot. How for real is this guy? Is he has to start, even if the Nuggets were 100% healthy good?
I think I was talking to a friend of the pod, Mark Little, about Michael Porter Jr. today. And I think one of the things about Porter that makes him so exceptional with Jokic is that he's so tall, right? You look at him, you think he's tall, but he's taller than you would even think he is. He's 6'10", and his leaping ability is off the charts. And he's a good cutter. And you have the best passing big man possibly in the history of the NBA, and you have a target with that type of catch radius, it's devastating. And his jump shot, he gets so much elevation on his jump shot, and with his height, he can stretch the floor to a degree. You can't really give him any space whatsoever, or he'll be able to shoot over you. Yeah. I think he's still got a ways to go for consistency in most elements of his game, but I mean, I would not be shocked at all if he has a 35-point game in the series.
Love it.
He's the raw vegan KD.
Oh, but he was also getting torched by Mitchell off the dribble in the fourth quarter. They had to take him off the floor because he could not stay with Mitchell at all. He was just getting blown by.
Oh, I love that. I love when playoffs gets down to one matchup. Ja is so incredible, but it was just intense and awesome when McCollum play after play, at a pivotal time of the game was just no, I'm going to take you on one-on-one and I'm going to smoke you. And Ja is incredible. And apparently was playing with a broken thumb, but
really?
Yeah. Apparently for the last 3 or 4 games in the bubble.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Do you think he said that to the reporter when the reporter was like, hey, McCollum just beat you 5 times down the stretch with a broken back? And he's like, well, my thumb's broken too.
He did the classic, just LeBron shows up like with a cast. And everyone's like, how did you get a cast in like 15 minutes? And it's like, oh, well, it's been broken my whole life.
Oh, yeah. Bob Orton
My whole
Sr.
life.
But I think that's it for the pod. Just kind of wanted to share in the Raptors joy. We're going back to back. This is so fun. We had a nice smashing. Even got a little bit of bench minutes in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just end with this. I'll ask all 3 of you. Let's go. We'll go Antony McCready and then Matt Duncan. How should the Raptors celebrate tonight?
Maybe go fishing. Have a nice fish. Play some cornhole with the boys in the lobby. And enjoy a cherry bubbly.
Wow, very 3 specific things.
Yeah.
Do those 3 things and you enjoy yourselves, okay?
Yeah.
McCready, how should the Raptors celebrate?
Head over to Walt Disney World and check out the Haunted Mansion so they could watch Jamal Crawford's shriveled old face in a mirror all day.
Wow, Jamal Crawford getting it.
We're roasting him.
Matt Duncan.
I love that I'm roasting this guy for being so old. He's like 2.5 years older than I am.
Oh, yeah.
NBA standards, he's quite old.
Yeah. Duncan.
Yeah. So this is what I want to happen. Okay. Nick Nurse, he's in his room. He's just putting on some new strings because he's blowing through those things like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's put on some new strings. He's getting ready to just kind of jam out by himself. But then here's a knock at the door and the whole bloody team is there and they've all got a different instrument. And they just say, you want to jam, coach? And the whole team goes in there.
He's like, no,
Serge has a bass, like a full stand-up bass.
That'd be good. Okay, you know what? Next, we can't go down that rabbit hole, but we're definitely going through which instrument for each Raptor.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
We're going Paul Watson deep.
Oh yeah.
But that's it for the pod. Thank you all so much. This was a good time. Raptors are 1-0. We have 15 more wins until we get to hoist the championship trophy one more time.
Mm-hmm.
But let's kind of wrap it up here with some N words. Anthony, do you have anything you want to kind of end on, or just say to the world and or promote?
Not anything too crazy. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hall and Jokes. I tweet about the old sports from time to time, mostly wrestling, if you like that. That's about it. Yeah, I'm hanging out. Let's keep going. Go Raptors, go.
McCready, anything you want to promote or message to the world?
Yeah, so I like to keep my Twitter and Instagram private. So if you're trying to find me, fuck off. John's audience. This shit's for me.
Wow. Oh my.
You gotta prioritize yourself. That's what I interpreted from the message. To everyone out there, don't find Matt.
Hello. Can anyone around here speak basketball?
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.